Okay, first I want to say if you hear anything weird in the background, hubby is doing dishes in the sleeper. Like I said before, we do everything in the truck. Happy Wednesday, guys. Time for another Get to Know Your Reader. The past few days has been the perfect example of how the job can interfere with my readings. Here's what happened. We had a critical load going from Clyde, Ohio to El Paso, Texas. This load had to deliver on time, and we were going to make it until 4 p.m. and 143 miles out. The check engine light comes on, and the dash displays a problem with the after treatment system. The after treatment is part of the emission system. So when there's a major problem with it, the truck goes into what's called D-rate. D-rate is where the computer detects a serious problem and limits the truck's top speed at 55 miles per hour. Now, 55 miles per hour in an 80 miles per hour zone is not very safe, so we had to pull off. Hubby called work to let him know that we were not going to make it on time, and then called Ryder to get it fixed. Ryder sends out a mechanic, and they run some diagnostics. He said the DEF metering valve was bad, and he needed to call Ryder to see what they wanted to do. Ryder decided that they wanted the truck towed to their El Paso shop, so we waited. We got a message saying that the wrecker's ETA was going to be 90 minutes, but hubby knows better than that. A few hours later, he calls the wrecker service to find out why the guy wasn't there yet. And they gave another ETA of 45 minutes to an hour. Well, an hour and 45 minutes later, he calls again. They say that they just got off the phone with the driver, and he was held up due to fog. But he should be there again 45 minutes to an hour. And a couple hours later, at 4 a.m., he shows up. Keep in mind, we got up at 6 a.m. that morning. With having to constantly keep check to see where our wrecker was, he had been up for 22 hours at this point. And I have had a few short naps. So he tows us to the shop while I get a little sleep and hubby sits in the front seat dozing a little bit. We get to the shop and they're open and waiting for us. Sorry, gotta get a drink. We have to get out of the truck and go wait in the driver's lounge. We're hungry, and since we had no transportation, we had to use DoorDash to get breakfast delivered. A few hours go by, and hubby checks in on the progress. They tell him they replaced a part, but it didn't fix it. A little while later, we check again. They replaced a sensor, but it's still not fixed. They eventually come in and say they have that problem fixed, but now it won't build up air pressure. So with air brakes, no pressure means we ain't going nowhere. They inform us they do not have the airline in stock, and we'll have to go and get it from Freightliner. So now it's 2 p.m., so we order lunch. We get done eating, and a little while later, they tell us we're ready. We get in the truck, hubby calls work, tells them that the truck is done, and they said, great, we've been waiting on you. We have a critical load that has to pick up tonight and be in Iowa by Thursday. So we go fuel up the truck, pick up an empty from the yard, and head to the shipper. We get loaded, and hubby drives a couple hours before he decides he's had enough. We get parked about 11 p.m. for some well-needed sleep, 42 hours after we got up. This morning, we were back up at 9 and just finished another 663 miles. So is the life of a truck driver. Tonight, both decks were talking. With the Earth and Bone deck, we have Warrior, and the Witching Hour, we have The Spell is Cast. Warrior to put our focus on the here and now. Our focus will bring in exactly what we need. Our peace will come. Manifestations will be set because we have the belief that we are good enough. Since we can let those go, we can focus on other things, like the beauty around us. After we have achieved that, we can have gratitude for the moment, which allows you to set your dreams and desires in motion. The Spell is Cast talks about after you have done everything that you can, you need to let it go. Trust that the gods are taking it from here. Surrender, trust, flow. If you're still having expectations or manipulating things, you aren't allowing them to do their own way of doing things, working things out. This card is showing up. Request that you don't ask about the situation in any way, shape, or form again for another full moon cycle. Your spirit guides got it. Well, I hope you have a great night, sleep, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.